Hello, hello, and welcome along to episode 71 of Beldania. Today's about moving fast. Wait, what level are you guys?
The grand old 18.
43.
18.
Well, I forgot to make the gift. I'll do that on break. But yeah, last session. What did you do last session? Anyone?
We fought a.
We fought a primordial.
Primordial.
Yes.
Quite a
Quite a
big
big
primordial.
And we stopped someone from dying horribly to the primordial.
Yes, we saved old Sandrak's sweet voice.
You fought
Yes.
the avatar
For
of
now.
primordial. And you
Right.
spent the end of the session fixing a boat. And now that you have a fixed boat, that happened. I do have a picture of the beach that's.
Oh, I should.
Bye.
Okay. Well, as that's coming back, you're on the beach. Freshly repaired ship, ready to explore. Doing.
We were going ideally to look at the map, right? Rather than the
Sure.
Beldania screen.
My Roll20's crashed. In the meantime, what are we doing?
We were taking a trip up a river towards the city, right?
Or were you talking about like on the beach, basically?
Pretty much anybody other than Jamel. What are you doing?
I would like to cast a spell.
Yes. Carry on.
Yes. So I would like to, probably not on the boat, probably on the beach, somewhere a bit secluded and a bit away from everyone. I would like to be like over here. And then I
don't see
will.
what you see, but sure.
Oh, okay. Everyone else can see where I
Cool.
am.
Did I get you guys to a beach?
Yes,
Yes.
you
Yes,
sure
that's
did.
wonderful.
For your reference, Sebastian is far away rather than in some inane location on top of something.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
He's just playing far
Um,
away.
Yeah. And I would like to start casting Wish. Kind of the same manner as I have previously. There's just very like calm, like magic kind of flaring around him, kind of like wisps of magic. And I would like to. So I want to ask for something out of the parameters, but I would like to flavor it as me conjuring Mistra to ask her to do it.
Sorry.
Do we
I
know
think
he's
all the
doing
music
this?
just queued up.
I
At
know. I
once.
was gonna say.
Yeah, it's.
Woo!
This is what I was trying to do, was play a track, and now it's played all the tracks. I think I'm slowly getting rid of them.
What harm could come from summoning a god?
The same harm that seems to come from any ninth level casting.
Oh yeah, sorry. I will also, before I do that, cast all of those Mordenkainen's private sanctum things so that people can't spy on me or anything like that. So that hopefully there's no bad consequences to be casting a 9th level spell.
Okay, as long as we're at least testing that, then it's worth
Yes,
it.
I will. I'll do that first. All of the things
Just
from
like-
it.
Like
Okay.
a beacon of light shooting into the sky.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
New music. Okay. So you're casting Wish. And
Well, but yeah, before that, private sanctum, but I'll do all of the ones, so sound, fog,
Cool.
divination spells, teleporting, all of that stuff. Yeah, and then wish.
and what are you trying to wish for?
So I want to wish for the clone spell that I cast previously. I want it to be fully what's the word? Matured. So that if I was to perish, I have a backup plan that isn't being stuck in my ring of mind shielding.
And would you kindly ping the clone spell?
Sure. Let me add it first.
Oh no, it's alright, I can do it.
Okay.
Assuming that it's a wizard spell.
Yes. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
you
just
got-
wizards, but wizards can.
As long as wizards can cast it, I can get it to come. I don't know if I'm downloading something or what's going on. My goodness, everything. Okay.
I got you, fam. I got you. Oh,
This
damn, you did it
spell
already.
grows an inert duplicate of a living creature as a safeguard. Are you wanting the clone to be a younger version of yourself?
It is, yes.
Will be.
I mean, not that much younger. I'm only like 22. But
I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question. Is the clone like a clone of current Sebastian, or is it somehow original Sebastian?
Spoilers.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Okay. I'll say no more.
So you make your wish, beseeching Miss
Yes.
for the clone, your clone that you have already cast, correct?
Yes.
It
yes,
already
I've already
exists
cast
within
it.
Sebastian's bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah. After a short while, a being made of stars finds like almost spiritual, not fully realized in
Ooh.
well sort of form. And she's quite close to you, but she's huge. So you find yourself sort of staring up at this vast creature.
Yeah.
You have called upon me. As she speaks, you sort of hear 6 or 7 different voices simultaneously, as if in chorus with each other.
Mm.
But what called me for?
I very respectfully bow.
You should.
Yes. And I will say, forgive me, but I require power beyond my current scopes.
Why
And I
should I
request
forgive
for
you,
your aid.
Sebastian?
Because what I ask for is for the good of the world.
Is it for the good of yourself?
They can be for both things.
Small creature. Large demands. Well, these demands are only small for the easy task.
Precisely.
What do you offer?
Well, I have already have my life in service of you. What would you ask of me?
Anything your insignificant self could do for me, I would sort of thinks for a moment, and as she does so, sort of begin to realize exactly how vast, not only in height right now, but also you're seeing entire galaxies within her make.
Yes.
You'll note the sky has darkened. Monster. Wants to presence, I guess.
Yeah.
After a little moment, if clone after clone,
Maybe someday after the mess that's going on here.
life in service to me.
Yes. In the and of trying to uh what's the word? I don't know, like try to like do like experiment with magic in the hopes of like I don't know, pleasing her is the wrong word.
Like
But
advanced magic's capabilities or something.
yeah. I mean, not to try and become
welcome.
her or anything, but you know.
Your life force. That I reaches her hand down, you begin to feel the very essence sucked. First, it's just a trickle, and then it's a stream. Bastian, as you feel incredibly weak, on the brink of death, falling forwards, barely able to hold yourself up. Your wish is granted. Go. Do not beseech me for such menial tasks in future. As she just dissipates, you will fall forwards. You will have 1 hit point.
What did she do?
Your maximum hit points.
That would be.
You can round up. My generous.
No, I don't need to. I've got an even amount. There we go.
You must roll me a d100, I'm afraid.
Okay. God, what has she done to me?
Done exactly that. She's taken 37 of your max hit points.
Yeah, but why?
Consequences,
She
baby.
likes your life force.
I know, but what for? That's a 51.
51.
Yes.
Well, that's good, isn't it? $51 is above 33. Fine, you can cast Wishing. But I'm just trying to read whether it's stress of casting a spell to produce any effect other than duplicating another weakens after enduring that space. So after enduring that stress, if you cast another spell before you finish a long rest, you'll take 1d10
I take
necrotic damage per level of that spell.
Yes. For X
Oh,
amount of days.
and your strength drops to 3.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Now,
what
For
I've got.
2d4 days.
6.
Oh.
For 6 days. I've got 3. Well, that's fine. I only had 9 to begin with.
Fair.
Oh, and if you spend any of those days resting and doing nothing more than light activity, you're... That's fine. I think that strength effect is not going to have any effect on you. You're going to be on the boat for a week.
Yeah.
And when does Sebastian do any heavy work?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
literally.
Lifting
I've
his
got-
wine glass.
Yeah, I've got zombies and Magian for that stuff.
Yeah, as Mistress doesn't sleep. Feel at the moment incredibly weak, so you should be on 1 hit point out of whatever you're.
Yes, out of 37.
Yeah, and even if you take rest, max hit. But had your wish granted, clone awaits you. Perhaps you'll visit it sooner rather than later, Mr. 35 hit.
37.
Oh, 37! Big boy.
Now.
Those two are going to matter
Perfect.
one day.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like hopple, like I just kind of like leaning on my staff, kind of like inch my way back to the boat.
Yeah, and as you do so, you're not the only person who's in a recovery state. The rest of the party by this time, by the way, will have taken a long rest since our last fight. This will be the following morning. Zandrak will also have recovered for the morning. While Sebastian is out doing this, the rest of you are having lovely, pleasant breakfast on the boat. Yeah, go ahead, Torin.
I was going to say, can Torin have, after all this is said and done, sort of, I guess we're in the morning after, perhaps?
Yes, so this is the morning after the battle with the Primordial.
Yeah, I think that Torn would likely take a bit of time this morning to summon Tamarind.
So just for reference, you would have stood guard over Zandrak, so he survived the day on which he was
Oh,
about
yeah,
to
yeah.
die.
Certainly.
Yeah, you can summon Tamarind. Instead of riding along the beach, kicking up sand way. This is regular fine steed, is it, or is it fine greater steed?
Greater Steed is what we're going to do.
Yeah, let me know the effects of that.
I will ping it into the...
Well, I mean, just, yeah, does Tamarind now have wings? Is that what's...
Well, yeah, so I think that Tamarind will likely have sprouted some wings. So Tamarind himself had sort of like a
He's white, right?
no, he's golden. So almost like here, I'll try to post something in the. I'm not gonna find something, am I? He's got kind of like a golden sheen. I don't know if you've ever heard of this horse before. I'm gonna copy an image here. Something along those lines.
Oh, okay. So not actually glowing gold.
No. He's kind of like got this like golden coat, like yellowish brown. But he's certainly a little more iridescent than anyone had ever remembered him being currently. In addition to having sprouted very dragon-esque wings. So we're not talking like feathery Pegasus. We're talking more like, you know.
Damn.
And yeah, he's just charging along the beach, and he'll approach the ship. And I mean, Tamarin is about as intelligent as any of us, so he definitely remembers everybody, and he'll greet them fondly if he remembers them as such. And Torin will sort of, butt his old head. Tamarind, old friend. I think I'm going to need you more than ever from now on. Will you stay by me?
I don't think it can speak.
No.
It will sort of bow its head and reach, sort of almost nuzzle up against you. Reassure you that the answer is yes. I couldn't do golden, like the plain golden that you did, but that do. He is on a beach.
Sure. Oh, I can't even see it.
What? You can't
no,
see
I
it?
can't
No, it's-
either.
It's just black.
Might
It's
take a
black.
moment to come up.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can go to characters additionals and click it. It might come up.
Characters additionals.
I
Oh, I
do
see
see
it.
it in the thumbnail, but
Yeah, that looks pretty badass.
It's not bad, is
Yeah.
it? As
Yeah, I'll
as
take it.
random golden horses go.
I'll fucking take it.
Even on a beach, and I didn't ask for that, so impressive. It knows what I want. Yeah. And Tamarind will indeed go around to each and every, make his presence known, I guess. You'll be headed north along the river. I'm assuming that Tamarind's pretty quick.
Yeah.
You could quite
Oh, he's
easily
not
keep
super
her.
quick. I think he's got 90 flying speed or
Probably
something.
about as fast as a boat, I think.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah. Wending its way. What direction were you headed?
may I ask one quick thing? I know I won't waste too much time here,
Yeah,
but
sure.
what, if anything, was left behind by the enormous avatar of a
Mm.
primordial?
Indeed, yes.
Is
Uh,
it disappear, or is it a big mountain of earth lying there? I mean, I'm curious.
No.
He sort of like
there
dissipate
is
into stardust.
a few little bits of pebbles.
Okay.
Sort of anything that was cleft from the creature during the battle would remain.
Interesting.
So the few sort of blows that it took, mainly from Bigby's hand, I think, that sort of because of the magical force, might have broken bits of rubble off. But anything that was not attached, anything that was attached to the creature when it was slain, disappeared completely. Perhaps even returning to place of origin.
So the little bits that were chipped off that are remaining, is there any sort of inherent magic stuck in
Nope.
those, or is it
They are just made of
entirely
rock and
mundane
earth.
now?
Rock and earth.
Rock and stone, got it.
Sorry, just a real quick question. Could everyone else see Mistra?
No.
No.
Not because she only appeared to you, but because of where you were and the fact that people were on the boat and stuff. When I say she was vast, she was sort of 30 feet tall, not 300. So only if they were near you and looking, but you said you were quite a long way away.
Yeah.
Nobody would have seen, except perhaps the lookout on the boat, but he probably thought he was imagining things. Or just thought Sebastian was doing glowy magic stuff in a hill. I think you guys are now on the map. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a
Fantastic.
couple of things I'd
Yeah,
like to do over the travel time, though.
And Yorkraf and Gio would have told you that the undead dragon they fought was on the get out of my way measure box. Oh wow, they've got a. That's so exciting. There's a little thing you can click that puts it back to the side. Oh, about time. When you click the measure tool, you can get rid of the damn stupid box. So pleased. Up here is where they were fighting the undead dragon, up near number 25 on the way of the path. But they were fleeing in this direction when around the mountains of Muegos is when they were accosted by the Primordial. And it followed them through 3 separate jumps, one to here, and a third one to you.
Oh. It's a long journey.
Followed
Holy
them.
crap.
Teleporting.
I wonder if that avatar that we faced, could it have been one of the mountains that we heard were moving in Muegos?
Gia will sort of nod, and Tarava was always my grandfather's favorite and easiest for him to release. May well manifest, isn't it? I would assume so. So if you remember, the problems that were caused in different places in the world were sort of effects of the primordial whilst they were still chained, whilst still locked away. So the manifestation of moving mountains was probably something Tarava was capable of while still locked away. The avatar, you know, means that they've been... Sorry, Jamal, go.
I finally feel like I've got a good use for this thing.
Okay.
I would like to take on hearing that discussion about Tarava. I'd like to take some time to slip back to quarters and can I show this in VTT? Damn it! 1 second. I'll ping you what I'm gonna spend 10 minutes casting. I just thought I could do it from the sidebar. Now I have to do it from the full spell list. I would like to take the time to channel this over the 10 minutes to reach into the knowledge of the beyond and learn anything particularly unique that we haven't seen before from Tarava.
Yeah, so as you as you name Tarava, Theseus will open up center of the room. The pages begin to sort of ruffle to pages you've not seen before, as new information is filled within the book. And you learn that Tarava is one of the eldest primordials, one of the original 4. So there is Tarava, Ignea, Waina. I don't seem to have the name on to hand. So one of the original 4. And these are the 4 eldest primordials before the original primordial. What is known creation primordial. Tarava is being of pure earth and often manifests as earthquakes, and also manifested growth or feeding of.
So the mountains that were moving before were, as we figured, because of Tarava, but this wasn't the avatar that we fought.
Yeah, the avatar you fought is definitely of Tarava, but Tarava itself is too vast for you to have an actual fight with. You can't fight an earthquake. Really, all there is to know on a primordial, they don't communicate with average mortals. A very powerful mortal might be able to commune with them in some sense, but it's more of an understanding than it is any sort of conversation. Who can judge the thoughts of a godlike being, especially one of such natural ability? The primordials have existed as long as the world itself has.
Yeah, the one thing that I was looking for and interested in particular is if there were any sort of tales, any sort of legends of people that have encountered the avatars before, or if this is the first one that's really in any record or any known memory.
You would know that at least his grandfather met the Avatar. Perhaps more than one. This may be the first time someone's fought it. Not as much as I give you.
Right. Okay. So very little is known overall, except.
Well, there isn't much more to know. It's a natural
Yeah.
disaster. Think of it like that, as opposed to, whilst it is sentient, it's not. No, it's not. It doesn't have your day-to-day thoughts.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Since I have this and we are taking a moment, I would like to take one more use of that for someone else instead. Do we know the name again of is it grandfather who's the guy who's been doing all
Yes,
this?
grandfather.
Yeah. Do we know his name?
I think you've been given a name. I don't think one got a.
Is
A little
it-
dubious as to which name you've been given.
I can't remember if he is the one where we accidentally got the name at one point,
Maybe.
but
You
we
have
didn't know
that?
if it was him, and we thought it was somebody else, and then we're like, oh wait, that is his Tarathis?
Yes. Fantastic. Great. Tarathis is the name that Gia would have given you. So yes, you could
Okay.
definitely have that.
Mhm.
That's how he's known
Okay.
to his people. But
Then
in
I
passing
would like
legend
to-
lore about Tarathis,
I would like to try to. Yes.
Yeah, you will discover that the creation, not their true existence. Tarathis was once a wild elf, but he's been dead a long time.
So he's taken on the name of one of their. So he hasn't taken on a name; it's just a name that's been given. Then I'm guessing.
How much information want to give?
Yeah, fair.
Well, I don't know. Want.
Touche.
Spells. Brief summary. Tarathis existed once as a wild elf, now being used as the embodiment of something larger. That's what I'll.
Okay. That's enlightening. I'll take it at that and consider that in mind later when I go searching for more info at some point, no doubt.
And with
But
this,
with that in mind and with that discovery made, I would like to spend the next couple of days as we go along putting a lot of focus into resupplying our potion stocks because
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure we're running quite alarmingly low across the board.
okay. Give me a little summary in chat, or in Roll20 chat, or in Discord chat, of
Absolutely.
what you're trying to create using the ingredients, and then I'll take the checks as and when. But in the meantime, I think we should get moving in at least some direction. Is the plan to remain on the boat for now, apart from those riding Tamarind, and head round the coast in one direction or another? Or even up this way? Ah, that was not the line I was looking for. This way? Or do you wish to cross land? What's the thinking for you?
I think stick with the boat for sure. But yeah, we were at one point we were going to go up into what was there was something we wanted to do at the town when we thought we'd go to 14 first. Does anybody remember what we needed
Yes,
to do at the town?
the only thing I've got down for the town is that Jamal wanted to speak to them about Daniel Weiser.
Oh, okay, right.
I don't know if there's anything else about the town. That's all I've got.
That's I just remember there was something somebody was going to check about there. So
So Colabar is the city of the dwarves, and you would have to gain entrance. Goldarucker is where you originally got the Damnus Visor, and that's the Gnomish town. Would you seek entrance to Colabar?
I guess if we didn't find any useful information we'd probably stop at the gnome one where we got it, right?
Sure. the person who knows the most is was it Fizban's Wonderful Adventures? I think that was his name. Fizban might be the guy who wrote the Book of Dragons.
Yeah, he is the
wrong
dragon
name, yes.
book guy, but
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I
I
know
think
his platinum shield very well.
I think it might be Fizzlock or something, or Finlock or something. I don't know. It's not Furlock. I know that much. I could seek that name, but I don't think it's too important. The person who sold you that Danos visor is not really got much more information. They gave you all the information they had when they studied it. It's beyond anyone in the city of Goldaraka. So I'll let you guys pass through there.
Sure.
And when you head up the mountain, which obviously will require you alighting from the boat, part of that is you will see this huge dwarven-made tower marking the entrance to Colabar. Probably 400 or 500 foot in height, but more impressively, sort of 200 or 300 foot in width. This tower is sort of a vast creation of rock and stone, almost carved from the mountain. And as you spy out this giant Colabar, do you have any reason to seek it?
I think so. Like,
I think the only reason we needed or the only reason I need for Colabar is for the gem specifically. But if
James?
I needed that one specific cut of gem for the visor. That's the only thing
Oh,
that needs.
yeah.
Oh,
to
you're
be
seeking
in
the
thing.
emeralds.
Right.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can definitely purchase that in Colabar, sorry, or in Goldaraka. Either one was fine. You can pay that. It will cost you 50 gold pieces, equivalent in the world. I think you guys have.
oh yeah,
Yeah, do you need me to spend it, or do you have
I
it?
can. I also
Uh,
have a lot if you need.
I would like to request that small, well, I'd say small, but moderate purchase from our
Mhm.
gold suppliers.
I think
I
it's
got it.
pretty
Solve
small.
this
But
mystery.
I think it's pretty
You
small.
have it.
Yeah, 150 you said?
Yeah, 150.
I'll also take off 225s for the legend lore. Plus, there's a whole thing you gotta spend that doesn't get disintegrated each time. Part of it goes away, part of it doesn't. Okay, it's fine. Here's 150 gem.
Yeah, so it's 25 gold pieces. And you would have had the ivory strip.
Sure.
It's the 50. Yeah, it's everything's divided by 2.
Yeah.
Gosh, go on.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, whilst we're roaming around, Sebastian wouldn't have left his quarters, and like he looks not only like physically drained, but almost like I know that cats can look old, but you know what I mean. It's not like as drastic as a shift as a person, but he like looks pretty like worn out. I think I would have spent the time sketching in my spell book what Mistra looks like and kind of like describing what she was like below the picture. And I would like to, because I'm not leaving this room, so I'm just gonna cast telepathy. Yeah,
Empathy?
yeah, that. I'm gonna cast that to talk to who should it be? Torin. And I'm gonna telepathically say to Torin, "Can you come see me, please, when you have a moment?"
That's the one guy that's not on the good lad.
Well, it can be a moment whenever. Like I can,
That's
it
fine.
can be whenever.
I'm sure that Tamarin could be parked on the beach.
No,
I said whenever you're free.
Couldn't Tamarin stand on the boat if need be?
I guess, yeah, he can land on the boat. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if Sebastian sounds urgent, then I will certainly oblige and land old Tamarin on the boat, and be like, Sebastian, I was having a fantastic flight. What is it that you need me for?
I need to talk to you about something.
Sebastian, you look like shit.
Well, there's no need to be mean. But yes.
I will enter. Oh, is Sebastian in his room, or is he just like chilling on deck, or?
No, I'm like tucked away in my room.
Oh, okay, I'll go.
Not seen the sun
come
for a
in.
couple of days.
I'll come in and sit.
Great. I need to talk to you about something important.
You have my ears.
I successfully have spoken to Mistra, the god of all magic, if you didn't know.
Sebastian, have you been drinking again?
Yes. And
Anyway, go on. You've communed with your god, and
yes, which has left me in a, as you can see, a very frail state. However, she has aided me in what I asked of her. If I doubt it will happen, because I'm very good in battle, but if for some reason I should fall, do not worry. Just take my things and meet me in Sandringham.
meet you in Sandringham. Whatever do you mean, Sebastian?
It's too. I'm
Sebastian.
too. I can't.
Say no more. Say no more. I've
Just
known you long
don't-
enough. I've known you long enough now that. And I can't believe that I'm saying this.
You love me.
I trust you, Sebastian. Let's not go.
That's more shocking than love, to be honest.
Yeah.
Loving Sebastian's a lot easier than trusting him.
I trust you as so far as you being responsible for your own life. And so I will certainly oblige. I will carry your belongings, rather, back to you.
What a
Upon
weird
your death.
backhanded compliment, but thank you.
Aye. As an aside, perhaps consider worshipping another god. Bahamut has made me strong and healthy.
And yet, he's not removed the curse on your life.
Fair enough.
It's the most religious version of "Do you even lift, bro?" I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I know, right? But that was thank you. I'll be fine in a couple of days. I'll be back. But she required a price that I gave.
See.
Also, don't.
Torrin still has no idea what the hell you're talking about, but he'll agree.
Also, just can this stay between you and I? If Chiavo catches wind, he might do something crazy and try to do it himself. And Lord knows he struggles with a cantrip these days.
Sebastian, why are you dead on my
I'm not. I've got 1 health.
dead on my
No, I'm not dead on my screen. Let me refresh. Oh. I think it's because I made my health 1 and then halved it.
That'll do it.
There we go.
Fix that wrong.
There you go, I fixed it.
Torrin will begrudgingly agree. He'll just nod his head.
Would you like a glass of wine?
No, thank you, Sebastian. I never drink and fly.
What about the ale that the Dwarven King gave us?
Ow, who gets drunk on ale? Let's be serious now.
Well, who worries about drinking and flying?
It's not that practiced, if I'm being honest, Sebastian. We've only begun. So,
Josh,
allow me to get my bearings, and perhaps I will fly drunkenly.
Very well. I won't keep you any longer. Thank you.
I'll give him the old pat on the shoulder. Not too hard. He looks weak.
Yeah, you might break a bone if you do.
And
Josh,
I'll
if
take
you
my
now
leave.
refresh your character, you now have, instead of using your max HP modifier, so that you can now use aid and stuff, come off on a long rest, you can now long rest and your HP just is 37.
Okay, is that going to be it for the rest of the campaign?
Always wish it, but
Shut up. Anyways, now that Torrens left, I would then like to. I'll have to upscale it, but cast telepathy again, so that for the next. I last 24 hours, but it doesn't need to be that long. I would just like to talk to Furlock and talk to him about Mistra and what had happened. And
yeah, you're able to
in
tell him
great
everything, and he's
detail.
absolutely fascinated.
Yeah.
He will tell you that over at the over at Yuccan, they've been working on a brand new spell, an amazing spell, recreate the very fabric of reality.
Wow.
And that in had cast this before. No, not to lose it. The other one.
Mirage Arcane.
Mirage Arcane, yes, that is at the very
Fantastic.
pinnacle of Furlock's power.
Oh, dear.
He's managed to do that too, but he's done it the opposite way. He's made Yuccan feel inhabitable to the people there. Basically, a population turned there from Eladar. Well, technically Barrath Numerous, where they were sheltering. If you remember, a lot of the humanity was sheltering at the Dwarven Halls because their land kept attacking them. But through the use of Mirage Arcane, they've enabled them to move back to Iraq. Entirely what Furlock's been working on all the time. Anyway, after 2 more days pass, boom, boom, all that happens. Fantastic. Hippity doodah. You can long rest. You can go back to 37 hit points. Stay there. You're feeling a little more up to it. Your strength will have returned. All of that sort of stuff has happened. And then you guys have got off the boat and you've gone up the mountain a little bit and you find yourself before this vast tower. Huge, staunch iron door. And the door itself is wrought of various pieces of sort of semicircular metal interlocking all the way around to give a beautiful pattern with staunch oak in between. Giant dwarven door is solidly closed. Sort of know that the way of the path is not far from here. Did you wish to visit where the path 14 moment? Face the doors of Colabar. Has anybody interest in going in? Does anybody have a reason to go in? You don't.
Yeah,
need
as
to have a
mentioned
reason.
previously, I'd have to go into.
You've already got the gem
mission
from
that-
Goldaraka. Said that already.
Oh, okay,
You've
sorry.
got it.
Right, sorry, I thought it was here
No, that's
specifically.
okay. It could be
I
either one, as I
guess-
said. They both would have.
I guess I don't have reason to go to Colabar then.
Wait. Then I will just quickly hop off, touch a tree nearby, and then come back on.
Sorry, there is not even slightly a tree here. You are up a very high mountain. It is all sort of like just a vast array of rocks, but also a lot of it's been cleared to less than rubble to allow for this huge entrance hall. You might find trees a little further away, within a couple of miles.
Yeah, I'll do
or
it
so.
here. I'll do it here.
Oh yeah, you would have been able to. Sorry, you would have been able to do so on the way up the mountain. So you'll have one at the foot of the mountain. That's fine. Just not up the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
As you're on this sort of large rocky plateau with this dwarven hall before you, there is a path that leads up above Colabar, which leads to the path where you guys would head.
I suppose so.
Oh, open, please. To change also.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Wonderful. The way of the path is unlike almost any of the others in that there is no cave, there is no dungeon, there is Instead, what you have is a large climb up the mountains, strange floating steps. Huge gems dangle from various rocks and nearby, some seemingly growing out of thin air and some even floating. And during this treacherous, for a lot of people it would be quite tiring. You guys are well exercised. Real issue. But the real difficult thing is working the path out. You could fly, bypass quite a lot of it, and I think almost all of you have the ability to fly now. Connect the only one that does not.
I can get him to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as you
How
can
many-
follow
Hop on.
yourself
You can
out.
also hop on Tamrand if you'd like.
Any
How many days has it been?
since you cast the wish spell? 4.
Okay. Does that include the like for each day that you spend doing nothing or light activity?
That's
it increases
happened.
by
You've
another
had the
two?
whole 3 days
Oh.
of doing nothing. As I said, you can restore your strength to full. All of those effects are gone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's just the max health that stays.
Yes, that was Mistress
Oh,
Price.
yeah.
That was not.
Yes. That's fine. Non-negotiable.
As you use fly to bypass most of this, eventually you come upon a large mountain with a great dip in it. At the bottom of that dip, a pedestal surrounded in gems. On that pedestal is written, "When we climb, it is not the mountain we overcome, but our." And the spell inscribed here is Control Winds. Of real interest, unusual book. It is wrought in silver and gold, and it's sort of very difficult to open. Realize very quickly, you wizards, that only one person may read this once, and it is a manual of gainful exercise. What this does is allow your strength to increase by 2 as will your max. Only one person. How I pinged this lobster.
I wonder who should have this.
Well, you say that,
Definitely not
but I think
Sebastian.
you're forgetting that your paladin is a dex-based paladin.
Yeah, I am a dex-based paladin, so I
So
don't actually.
it doesn't
need
actually
that much
affect
strength.
anyone in specifically. I mean, but I would
I mean,
assume
what'll
that
it affect? It'll allow
your
me
athletics,
to like
right?
escape grapples. Yeah, athletics basically is the only thing that.
doesn't Path of Glory or Oath of Glory also have some athletically theme? Sorry, this ice is very cold.
Well, Oath of channel Oath of
Tends
Glory's
to be.
channel divinity gives me advantage on any strength-based
Oh, okay.
check
nice.
for like a minute or something. So that sort of mitigates my super low strength when I need.
I wasn't expecting a
decent
piece of
strength.
ice in the mouthful that I got, and then I was like, ah, it's freezing. Yeah, I think Torrin probably has more use for this than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, read it. It won't be readable again for 100 years. And will be
Cool.
sealed up. Imagine how pissed off you'd be if you climbed this way of the path and somebody had been here in the last 100 years and it was read already, and you're just like, a book I can't read? Great, thanks.
Yeah, Torrin will just sort of like 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, yes, and then.
The real exercise was climbing the mountain, although you'd have done Pegasus' back. Yeah, and then
The Pegasus should read the book.
it should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Control Winds is a spell that either wizard can have if they wish. I think it costs you guys like 20 gold or something. Where's a map?
Does the book have to be like placed back on the?
No.
Oh,
Good.
we can just take it with us, and
If it's
in
for
100
everybody-
years,
everybody else,
my ancestors can read and
yeah.
get
Just
jacked.
screw everybody
so-
else that ever gets to this way of the path. You would assume the way of the path we grow them. Yeah. You are at the top of a mountain. The boat waits for you just at the bottom of the water. I mean, technically, a glimpse of the. zoom in real tight. The plan. Head up this way, or do you want?
It's a good question.
I think we should go.
You go
I think we should
through
go
or
around and then back in,
Yeah,
because then we can
Sounds
hit
good.
16 and 15,
Okay.
and then 18.
agreed.
Yeah, so you drift around the coast of Gazellen, and as you pass Kirik, the city, it's assumed that you'll stop in for supplies if you will want to purchase things. Kirik is a beautiful city, as a lot of the buildings are made of what looks like glass. They're actually a thick crystal, but it's a thick coloured crystal. And what this means is that you've got these beautiful spires and towers of multiple all the way around the city. And when you stop in, you will hear that not been that long since strange elven man put the crystal back in the ground. One of these crystals are grown. These towers that they're living in are these crystals grown to a certain size, and then people carve out holes. But not that long ago, some of the crystals that they grow outside of Kirik grew to stupendously large levels, as did the nasty crystal creatures that come out of them. But a gentleman whose description you will recognize as Cal came and reversed this effect about 6 weeks ago. Doing so, apparently he fought a giant crystalline spider. But he got rid of it. Aided by a young human. Relatively young human. Who was said to have a vast array of magical weapons. Apparently he was quite rude and difficult to deal with at times, and very self-confident. Couldn't possibly have been elected. As you continue onwards, you'll find that those two seem to have teamed up somewhere along the lines. You will be able to get to the way of the path 13. The path embedded in sort of right down by the sea. Appearing at the very entrance, you'll notice walls are rife with growths. And Sia and Mike are fascinated by these unusual mushrooms that are growing around. They're about a foot tall. And what's interesting is they are called... these mushrooms sort of vibrate. They move in strange ways. Instead of swaying one way or the other, they sort of wiggle with the wind. Cave entrance. Number 13, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Before we do enter, can I take
Well, you could
a
just,
little
we're
look at
just
these?
peering through the entrance.
Sure. These mushrooms. Can I take a little bit of a look at these and see what the hell's going on with them? Why they're behaving so differently?
Uh,
Just totally different mushrooms. Then yeah.
Well, no, they're sort of very, very, very small sort of gaps in their structure in the fungus stalk, and these little gaps allow the wind to pass through them in strange ways depending on the angle of their gaps. Meaning that when they get blown in the wind, instead of just going over, it maneuvers them around based on the makeup of their stalks. They have no alchemical properties whatsoever. And are quite foul smelling if you get close enough, and can make you very sick if you eat. As you peer into this, see it is rife with clouds of poison. It's full of fungi and
So all this stuff that you see is just like toxic gas and everything. Does it seem like we'd just be able to clear out a lot of the gas and make a clear path to go through?
I don't know. Does it seem like you'd be able to clear out the toxic gas? I
Well,
don't know
I'm-
what you're doing.
Well, I could.
You
I could
can't just
say, for
stand at the
example-
entrance and blow really hard and then walk through. No.
No. I was thinking about, if I were to continuously create strong winds throughout this place, if it would whip away the gas.
That would be
'cause
a
it seemed like
very
as if
bad
it's-
idea. You would create a lot more. As the mushrooms are disturbed, the clouds get bigger.
I see. Okay.
Anybody else got any strats for this? Anybody just flat out immune to poison and disease?
I'm immune to disease, and I am resistant to poison.
You're not immune to the
Resistant
poison
well.
condition, are you?
I am not. Oh, I am immune to the poison condition. Jesus.
Anybody want to send Torin in for a
I
walk?
thought it was only disease. I didn't realize I was immune to poison.
Yeah, well, paladins get quite a lot of that disgusting
That's
ability.
ridiculous.
Um,
That's ridiculous.
yeah, there's also some clouds that are very hot to walk through, but again, you don't care.
No,
Um,
not at all.
We just send Torin for a long walk. Well, that does beg the question. The rest of you would need to get to the end of the path to see the magic. Do you else have any wizards that just become gas or anything?
I wonder if Torin can help.
The biggest problem is anything that I do in terms of navigating will just whip up more winds, which will inevitably exacerbate our problems.
Can you
So
change yourself and
I can.
polymorph yourself into a creature that is immune to poison? Might be.
I have no way of doing that, but others might. Maybe.
I suppose I could cast Fast Step and just constantly teleport till I hit the end.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the only thing is, I think we'd need like safe
Oh.
slots.
So stupid. I'll just use my hither staff.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
it.
big enough range.
We got 3
Yeah.
charges, but see quite far into the. Yeah. In fact, you could hither one portal at the entrance, then you could hand the staff to Torin,
And
he can just walk to the end and
yes.
tether you in.
Mm, yes.
Is that the new strat for all Way of the Paths? Hither tether at the
Yes.
entrance, give the staff to Torin, and see you at the end.
Yeah.
Torin,
See you at the end,
on your
bye.
walk through, some unusual mushroom-like beings, but with crab legs, try to attack you, but you're too quick, and you. And as you get through, you are consulted with a sort of huge toadstool upon which is sat a jug. And around that jug is a necklace. It says on the toadstool, "Poison is in everything, and nothing is without poison. It is the dosage that separates poison from." You will find the spell Vitriolic Sphere here. A level 6 spell creating a ball of acid. Very powerful spell. Looking at it, but you also find an alchemy jug. This is a specific alchemy jug. I will get it a color. Oh, I've left it. I've looked for an alchemy jug. Blue alchemy jug? Trying to work out what the difference is. I can't remember why I chose it. Makes tea. I think that might be the difference. Of
Mayonnaise?
CO2.
Oh,
Honey.
God.
Vinegar?
I've never understood that.
Wine?
I've never
Yeah.
understood
Oh my
that one.
gosh.
Oh, it doesn't make acid.
Can it make a gallon of wine though?
Yeah. It makes wine, water, vinegar, oil, mayonnaise, honey, tea, and beer. It doesn't make it. So yeah, it makes tea instead of acid. It's a friendly. There is also a periapt of proof against poison. This does not require attunement. Or it makes you immune to the poison condition and immune to poison damage.
Someone should wear that.
Yeah, it's resistance, so someone who has no defenses against poison ought to wear that one.
Rosania? Chiavo?
Yeah, I'm
Sebastian?
happy to take it if nobody else wants it.
I feel like we're most likely to get that kind of damage type from a spell, and I've got resistance to all spell damage, so I think I should be fine.
Makes sense.
And I've got the boots, so I don't really have the slots free.
Okay, it's
It's
not
not-
attunement,
it's-
but we've
it's not
given
a-
it
yeah.
we've given it to Rosa.
Oh,
Fine, periapter.
so it was a achievement. My bad. I'm done.
I did say this.
A few
Not
words
require
you're
achievement.
allowed to speak, Jamal, were the wrong words. You have lost the opportunity.
Yes, you have given it to.
It's all good.
So you return to the poster. But yeah, you were able to return to the coast of Beldania, passing towards Kilden. Kilden is a very intriguing, in that it has 3 levels. The first of which is underground. Then it is a sort of area of valleys, and some of it's built into the underground of the valleys, some of it's built into the low valleys, and some of it's built on the rocks at the top of the valley. And it's this very strange tiered city with lots and lots of ladders and stairs going up and down, all 3 different levels. What's also interesting about Kilson in terms of being a gnomish city is that almost all of the population are not gnomish. The gnomes built this city and later abandoned it for the most part to Kirik. So many of the population are halflings, human. There's a lot of genasi here from over the border, from down at Arlana. There's tabaxi here from over northern Arlana. Vast array of different, very multicultural place, and one of the main reasons why it's so popular is it has a phenomenal port. That's quite exciting as well, because the city is not all at sea level. Some of it is above and some of it is below. So what you get when you come into port is the ability to distribute to 2 or 3 different levels at once, meaning that you can service a lot more boats than you would normally be able to in the as you guys pass Kilzen, turn down the Alana River.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think so.
Certainly.
He will
Mhm.
be furious. The exit with from the Alana River, this sort of vast river mouth that's made up of lots and lots of small streams with rocks and islands between them, and navigating through it is very, very difficult, especially as all of the river is coming towards you. You're trying to go upriver. She's done it before once or twice, but she's not a big fan of it, especially in her new boat, but she will do so anyway. And you will all be asked to assist. Is magical and menial. Try and make sure that the boat gets just generally, because you're making her do it. Why? Does anyone have anything
just-
specific for assisting?
Well, just wait a few minutes if you would, Phoebe. It don't have to be this way.
Oh.
I mean it's rocky, but it's reasonably flat, and we could just make it straight up river. If you just hold on for a second.
Of course.
I think if we think clearly enough and describe it carefully, the way we'd like a nice open plain of water here, a nice gentle current, and a big channel for the boat to move on through with, pretty bushes and flowers at the sides, and I'll just cast Mirage Arcane and make at least
Sick.
the first square mile of the river.
Well, the square mile is more than enough to deal with that problem of all the little islands and rivulets. And the problem is because the water was being pushed into smaller streams, it was speeding the current up. But when you flatten it out, it's a much more gentle river, and she should bring you along every time. This is. You sure the rocks aren't just there, but we can't see them?
Well, they are, but they won't actually do anything, I think is kind of how it works. As long as we keep it tight in our imagination the way that I've described it, it'll
See.
actually behave the way it looks.
Power of belief, I guess.
Sort of. Power of describing things. I don't know. Just do it.
she sort of nods and lets the boat follow on through. You make a nice peaceful arrival. And immediately you will see the country of Erlana. Erlana is very interesting, diverse. It has two halves. One that is this sort of a little bit like the savannah. It's what do you call this thing? It's not plains. There's a better word for it. Anyway,
Like a grassland?
yeah, sure.
Or,
We'll call it that. There's a proper word for it, but I can't think what it is.
I think it's savannah.
But yeah, maybe it is savannah.
I think savannah is the fancy word for grassland.
Oh, is it right? Okay, cool. So yeah, it is.
Dry
It is a
grassland,
wonderful savannah. It's a there's lots of plant life here, but it's all sort of faded in the sun. And vast stretches of open land surrounded by very gentle hills and open oases. This is the land of the Tabaxi. They defend it fairly staunchly. They don't like out. They're not going to. What's interesting about Erlana as well is that wherever you go within Northern Erlana, you see this sort of. It looks like a big globe. I mean, you can see it in the middle. Which, you can pass through this, and when you're inside it, it is hotter. They say that it is a gift of Raman-Ha, god of the sun. Don't know what it is. People have theorized that it's just an effect of the gases collecting in the savannah and creating this sort of inner area. But there is a noticeable difference in the air, sort of 1 foot inside and 1 foot outside it. It is hotter in there, but it's also clearer and cleaner. And it is mostly within that globe, huge globe, that the Tabaxi live, but they do venture outside to the coastal areas occasionally. And it is kind of this view that you have as you look at the way of the path. It again looks like a sort of cave entrance built into a cliff face, but all across the top of the cliff are holes. Holes allowing the sun to go down into the cave. When you look within the way of the path, you will note that these are shining light upon usual runes. These runes seem to create puzzles at various different. You can a lot of the time you can rotate tiles on the ground up. For the most part, Bastion and Kiava will be able to work out these puzzles. As you traverse the Hall of Runes, mostly avoiding all the traps. A couple of times when Torin is leading the way, he steps on something to some of the blasts of fire and lightning phase you all. It is quite beautiful down here, though. These shafts of light shining upon various different crystals and gems, as well as the air itself. And during the process of this walk, you will find yourself some actual gems. Come at you quite far. Why are you doing that? You're so unhelpful today.
Yeah, it's really not great.
You will find yourself 2 fire opals worth 100 gold pieces. 5 citrines worth 50 gold pieces each. Sorry, no, I don't think they are. 5 gold pieces. 2 chalcedonies, I don't know how to say that. 5 gold pieces each. A single black opal worth 100 gold. 12 banded agates.
I wrote them.
Fantastic one. And at the end of the way of the path, get within 6 bloodstones. You find yourself a ring of puzzler's wit. non-attunement item. Jamal, this is a non-attunement item.
Yes.
Gold ring bears a fluorite stone and is enchanted to sharpen the wearer's mind, making it able to cast real. The ring has 3 charges and regains 1d4 minus 1. Intelligence check. Spend a charge to grant yourself advantage on the check.
That
You
is a
also
lot of words.
find, ironically, spell Greater Mending. It quite simply says, it is only impossible, and it is not. Quite makes Sebastian quite happy. He's been living by that theory for quite a long time.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I'll take the Ring of Puzzler's Wit. That would be quite nice.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get your Perry apt because you thought it was an achievement. This Ring
Yeah.
of Puzzler's Wit is not an achievement item unless you're Kiavo. Go ahead and take it. But yeah.
Does anybody need any of those gems for anything, or should I add them simply as value?
Throw them in there.
There are some specific spells that will require those bloodstones, but you don't have any of those spells right now, so you can put them in. At some point, you will need those 60 voices.
Porpoise.
As you are leaving Way of the Path 9, for want of the Phoebe and the boat keep conversation with 6 tabaxi, all of them tall, grey-furred, proud, wearing traditional garb, which is not a huge amount on the upper chest, leathers and very. They use these double swords, so a long handle with a scimitar on either side.
I have one of those.
All 6 of them. And they look quite martial in.
Despite being Leonin, definitely not my type, but I'd like to keep an eye on what's going on with Phoebe. Keep an eye and an ear out. Make sure everything's going okay.
Henrik, you will quickly realize that there is an argument. Going very quickly. Speak primordial is the Genasi language, but because they share a land, I think. Phoebe is attempting to argue back, but you will notice her primordial is not great.
If I can, does it seem like I can interject and talk to her for 5 seconds, or?
They are standing between you and the boat, so you would have to pass via the. You can shout up to her, but you would have to pass via if you needed to touch her or something, or anything.
Yeah. So, Phoebe, you want me to make it easier for you to talk to them, or would you rather we do the talking for you?
Oh, about time, Henrik! For goodness sake. They're telling us we can't enter unless we give them water, but we don't have enough. It is their traditional currency, so to speak. It's a gift of honor, but we don't have enough water on board to be able to spare it. But I'm struggling to explain that to him. They feel slighted by our lack of the traditional gift of honor.
Water shouldn't be a problem.
Well, it's.
Be a problem. What a fantastic idea. I mean, they are on a river, but it's salt water. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily salt water, but it does flow from to the sea, and it flows from the Urex lake. So it's not.
Well, we do have this blue alchemical jug.
And I have a decanter of endless water as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, I might just whip that out. And,
You will be able to see that at the shore, 2 stone-like... They look a bit like barrels, I guess. Okay. But they've been carved into the rock. Looks like a place of traditional greeting. And in fact, you will see on them, almost like you've just driven into a new city, you'll see various words of welcome in multiple different, basically, what you're offering. Welcome enough.
Well, I will go over to those, and I'll tongues myself first also, so that I can use, so that yes,
I will
So that
tongues
I-
myself.
yes, plurally, so that I can pronounce the command word fountain in Aquan Primordial, and produce 5 gallons of water into one, and then another these barrels.
Maxi, break himself.
Well, now, again, in their language, you can get up. It's fair to respect the water, but it's just a trinket.
Bear
It's
the vessel of Ram and Ha.
Well, I don't know. It's just something we picked up at some point.
Vessel has chosen you. You are worthy. Much honor. Glad to have you walk within our lands. Walk freely. Might we know your name?
My name is Hennick. Hennick Littlefield. But what
Hennick,
are
bearer
all your?
of the vessel of Ram and Ha. You are welcome.
Well, that's very kind of you. Is there?
Might I approach?
Of course.
He will, the leader of this pack of 6 into a pouch at his belt, will pull forth a small golden star up to affix it to your cloak. This will mark you as the bearer of the vessel of Ram and Ha, or at least as welcome with it.
Well, all right. That'll be very handy. Do you need more at the moment? I don't know if it's more of a gesture or if you're in need
It's
of
but
more.
a gesture. Baxi themselves will come from the oasis. It's plentiful. Those who die in our lands, vast deserts lost within. You will always have water.
Yeah, we should be all right.
You anything specific in Ghana?
Sort of look at everybody else. Are we looking for anything in particular in this place?
What of the thing you were looking?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Passage.
Yeah. I'll turn back to
You've
this
done
place.
9. That's all you needed, really.
Right.
Off your job.
Yeah. I'll just turn back and say, well, as a matter of fact, although I'm sure your land is beautiful and wonderful, it is only the
was.
water that, well, has there been trouble?
Desert gave way. Valora. Through the earth, we are punished for our life.
Well, I wouldn't blame yourselves. There's all sort of things going on with the land in various parts of Beldania at this time.
So said the elf.
But-
We know that. Stay true to Ram and Ha if we wish. Call us again. He too carried a vessel.
What was his name? Well, that's good. We know him. Was he not able to
course we
help
do.
with the difficulties?
Told us that
We know he's-
our city was lost. Would not befall us again, and he prevented sand that falls. Gather where miles were turned into quicksand. Entire city sunk into, but most of the tabaxi for them escape. Hal has now stopped the quicksand, but can't bring a city back out of the ground.
Sure.
I don't even think you guys could do that. No, it's a
Make it look like we
pretty
did for
big problem.
little while.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big problem. I mean, the city of Galora is almost 17 square miles of city. Yeah, pretty big catastrophe to happen to. The Tabaxi there live mostly in tents and small wooden buildings or small stone buildings that are built for 2 or 3 people, perhaps a small family. Sometimes many of them close together because a Tabaxi might have a litter of 6 or 7, and then when their children grow, they will live in the surrounding small buildings.
Well, perhaps now there are other folk in other places whose troubles have not yet been halted. Maybe so we need to move on. And in fact, it's just the water alongside your lands that we're interested in, the river itself. But perhaps at some point we'd come back and give you a hand in rebuilding or whatever you need to do.
Walk where you please. You head south.
Indeed, we do.
Beware the floods of flame. Genasi are hard pressed.
How far south is that something we'd run into? We go about halfway between the branch of the river and the Urax state is where we're seeking to get to.
Stay to the river, you will be safe, but the homeland is surrounded in the floods of flame.
Well, perhaps we'll look into it.
Akathea greets you, bids you farewell. He gives you this Makothea. With your tongues up, you will know that is not a name. It is more sort of magistrate almost, or intermediary, even mediator. It's somewhere in the middle of those 3 things. Almost judge, jury, and execution, if you like, but
sure.
in a more peaceful manner.
Right.
It also has a secondary meaning, tribeless.
Interesting.
So he's given up his position in his tribe to become mediator between different tribes.
Right.
Greets you, and you will note that the 5 men with him are all of different tribes. Very obvious from the garb. One has the mark of the tiger and has hundreds of different memorabilia on him, if you like. Another one has the mane of a lion and has sort of something at the tip. Another one, the antelope. Another one, the jaguar. Final one, they have their 5 marks. Those of no tribe. With the star upon your cloak, you may travel freely in northern Erlana if you wish. So, usually the way the Tabaxi and the Genasi describe it is this is Erlana, this northern side, and this is simply homeland. Well known for its Genasi. Yeah. As far as you know, traveling down the river, you should be safe, but homeland is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Not a city, it's almost a country within itself. It's a series of interlocking villages, all the different Genasi. They don't normally welcome anyone other than traders. Akathir will inform you that your badge does not allow passage to the Genasi land.
Well, understood. I'm sure we'll manage to get around as we need to. I appreciate the safe passage through your portion of the country.
With that, all 6 of them sort of take 2 steps back in ceremonial. And then they all sort of place their hand out. As they turn, they leave their hand facing you and then walk away. Phoebe will inform you that the custom is it's very rude to turn your back on but obviously eventually you have to leave. So the hand is to say that we're still thinking of you, our presence is still facing you. Leave you to travel freely. At this point, it's been almost 10 days since you cast your spells, Sebastian. And over the last 2 nights, dreams.
Love that for me.
Okay. You've been having dreams of Mistra. a form comes, begins of a strong word. You get ideas in ideas of perhaps combinations, of even ways of using. As a reward for your service, upcast a spell, be upcast by one more level, anytime, forever.
Ooh,
So if you cast a third level spell at fourth level, it will instead be cast at fifth level, but only if you upcast. So it won't automatically upcast your regular cast. Casting that.
Right. Yeah. So if I upcast like fly to fifth, it instead would be 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it says increases by d6 for every level of cast above third, then you would gain an extra d6.
Very cool.
That is your joint price to pay from Mistra. Lessons in magic and half your max HP.
Who's the shitty god now, Torrid?
I think Torrent's quite happy with not having 37 hit points. Let's be real. As you guys leave, a little further down the beach, Phoebe will pull the boat in and tell Hennick that the odd vegetables that grow here are free for the picking because they are absolutely ripe with them. It's a bit like kale, but there's fields of it. And it is very, very nutritious. Tastes a little bit of the sea. He will ask that perhaps you might make the crew something using these wonderful vegetables.
Certainly give it a try. It's not an ingredient I've used before, but salty leaves, that seems like something that can be done.
And they are very, very pleasant to hold. They sort of... They're very, very soft, almost silky soft, and they're big leaves, and you can wrap them around you. They're a bit like banana leaves. You got a very soft to touch, but they're also... You can use them as like plates. Wrappings. Quite appreciated. You can get down to the point at which the river diverges, and even from here you can see what they mean by the... It looks as if 7 or 8 volcanoes have gone off simultaneously. There are vast floods of lava all throughout the land. The land is cracked. Huge gaps in between different parts of land with rivulets of lava. Help. Over it. Sort of quite far distant. Large towers, big rocky castles, huge walls made sort of reinforced stone and black stone made by lava in the vast waterfall all within Homeland. Air, water, earth, and fire, so to speak, to all live in harmony together. This sort of barrier all the way around it, being made of waterfall, it's trying to keep but the effect is the huge billowing clouds of rising into the sky. As the boat turns into the river, you will note that fire, it's almost the entire way to the river.
Oh, I wonder, since we've been following his track, if this is something that Cal has tried to deal with yet or not.
It doesn't look like he's...
Obviously.
Can I take a moment here to see if I can socket this gem in this visor, whether this works? Because I'd like to see if I can
go ahead and give me an
empower this
Arcana
thing
check.
and see if it can help with anything in terms of looking around at what's going on.
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana, yes.
Advantage to mark of your newfound ring.
Yeah, that's going to be a 22.
Yeah, you understand the magic within, and you may indeed finally upgrade Danoth's visor to be.
Ooh.
It's called Exalted.
Yeah, just adding that now. Okey-doke. Exalted visor.
You finally have a tiara with flip down sunglasses.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. So the first thing I would like to do is take a look around and see if anything of this is actually illusory, or if the lava and cracks are all very much actually exactly as it
This
looks.
is very real. This is
Very
best,
real.
and as you all stare at it, the devastation is far beyond anything you. Huge cube of sand and hail. 17 to 20 miles of quicksand is nothing in comparison to devastation.
Right. Is there any sort of magic going on within the field? Can I like detect anything around the lava, or is this all just a very natural
very
lava
natural.
occurrence? No empowerment or
No,
anything.
it's as if 7 volcanoes went off at once and just didn't stop erupting.
And it's coming all the way down to the river, you said. Is it flowing into the river, or is it like
No, it
stopping
gets
just barely
close,
short?
but not. Close meaning like 3/4 of a mile or so.
Ah, okay, fair.
It looks
So
like it's
not
focused in
right up to
on
it.
the
Yeah,
homeland.
cool.
Can Torin just sort of do a scouting mission on Tamarind, have a flyover? Like,
Yeah, you can go in, and as you enter the steam, Tamarind is uncomfortable. At some points, you do need to be quite high up.
Yeah.
You can get close enough to homeland to see that there are hundreds of genasi on the walls battling, and the flames seem alive. Are rising up, reaching towards the city. There are rains of fire going on above the city. Balls of flame are being thrown from the land upwards at the city. Everything outside the city, you will notice that there were some buildings outside of homeland, some little areas, and indeed you pass over what appeared to once be a small village has just been turned to ash.
No sign of inhabitants,
Only inside
dead or
the
alive?
city.
Okay. I will race back to the ship and inform them. It seems the Earth is attacking the city. I fear we have another primordial problem at our hand. Fire. They need our help. They are fighting a losing battle.
Right. How do we get to them then? By sky?
Won't be comfortable. Tamaran could barely get low enough to have me see anything.
James, when you
So
said
we have here.
fireballs are shooting from the land, what exactly do you mean?
So there are sort of valleys and flowing lava, and literal fireballs are being spat out of them up at the,
From
and
the
they are
lava,
being
okay.
directed at the city. The entire land is lava at this point.
Okay.
There are a few rocks dotted here and there, but you're effectively at the bottom of a erupting volcano.
Could we not commune with nature and just ask the land what's wrong? Is that a possibility?
Unlikely.
Uh, he's just like, I'm hungry.
You would imagine that it has something to do with a.
Mhm.
but
I think, I mean, Torn is not the smartest guy, but I think given what we've learned as of recent about the primordials and the fact that there are 4 attached to the elements, and the fact that the fire and lava literally seems to be fighting against
It is
these
definitely
Genasi.
sentient and active. It's not just
but
land.
Torin didn't see it. The actual primordial.
No, I didn't see it. Well, I mean, like, yeah, like it's all around, right? We learned
It is
that
all in it, yes. It's
it
not
does
seen
not
an
necessarily
avatar.
take-
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not the avatar. It's not an avatar like the
No,
Earth
no.
one was. Right.
just-
Sorry.
No, this is
sorry.
the
How-
actual. It looks like
Well,
it's the
to
actual
quote a
primordial.
DM, how do we fight something like that?
How do you fight an earthquake? In
Yeah.
fact, I will give you the best of images because these little citadels don't exist. Okay, best I could do. This is the city, and it is surrounded by waterfalls, and everywhere else is.
Is that Big Ben?
What if we bring? What if we just make it torrentially rain?
A lot of steam.
Would that be powerful?
I mean, they've
enough to
created
put
all of
out
these
flames and
waterfalls, and they
lava?
haven't put out the lava.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
No, it would certainly help. But Gio, sort of hearing this, will say, like a primordial and full. Only thousands of water elementals. Nasi are like water elementals.
Some of them not nearly as powerful.
I can conjure you, but not.
As much as I would love to be able to help these people,
Will we get them
what
out?
is there that we could do? How could we turn the tide of
Well,
something?
we
of
can't
such
allow them
scale?
to perish. We
I
must
agree.
do something.
Me and Rosa could tsunami this place.
I'm thinking more of like an escape plan.
Mhm.
You
I
would know
suppose we
that the
need to
Genasi do have a teleportation circle inside this. It's the Uruk state. The fact they haven't left means they think they can win the fight, or at least they could leave and all arrive at the Uruk state. I don't know what the Uruk state would do with a population of 50. But
It's a lot of refugees.
Refugee status.
That's less than I would have thought.
50,000 is as big as a city gets in it.
Sure. Well, exactly. I don't think we should let it fall.
I think I'm good to go.
What's your plan?
Keep it moving. I've just
We'll just leave.
yeah, I've sort of reached the conclusion that we can only help people when they come to ask us for help. So I want to keep it moving and do what we need to do.
You want to just let them perish, Rosa?
Well, what am I supposed to do? If I make it rain, it's not gonna put down the lava. They have a teleportation circle so they can get out.
She did say the rain would help.
Well, no, and we can tsunami the lava.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll continue manifesting good intentions, and hopefully, it will fix the problem.
Rosa's angsty today.
It's not. Sorry, it's not like angsty. It's just we have a goal, and I feel like there's nothing I can do here that is actually gonna make any change. So let's just get a move on because I don't want to bother.
I mean,
Well,
we could
Just had
we
it.
could at the very
Just
least,
do
I
it.
guess, investigate and see if there is anything small that we can do.
If you want.
But
Perhaps convince them that they will likely all perish, and that it's,
well,
there's no.
well, if they do sincerely believe that they can hold out, then perhaps they can, at least for a certain amount of time. But
do
at the
we
very
know
least,
they're
we could-
wrong?
yeah, exactly. Do we know if they're right or if they're wrong?
You don't.
That's-
You don't know.
Yeah, that's my thought. So
Well, if they have a teleportation circle and we have one on the ship, certainly we could get in there if need be.
I think. Is there any specificity as to whether you need any existence?
Let me check. Must be known to you.
Yeah.
So if it's a permanent circle, it has to be a circle that's known to us.
It's a sigil sequence that you.
Hmm.
But you do have teleport.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess what I could do is scry the area and
That's
then
what I was
see
going to
if
say.
I
You
can.
could teleport to the. Using scrying, you could teleport directly. All of you.
Yeah, and then maybe as we get to the circle, we could use the circle to get back, and then we can. Then at any point, we would be able to then return to this place and provide assistance as we can, whenever we have to spares.
Are we really thinking about leaving these people?
Well, I don't want to turn down anyone who might need help, but I do think that even with all we've accomplished, it's reasonable to understand our limits if there's nothing we can do.
But we
But
haven't
there's
even
not.
tried.
Okay.
At least try and help. Even just the rain.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Fine.
we can go there. We can see what we can do. We will have to leave them eventually. We have to continue. We cannot stay indefinitely and try to bolster their defenses against what's going on.
Of course, but we
That's-
can at least try. We are here.
I agree.
How? I thought this place was the size of the whole place or something, right? Like this whole section of the country
It's
is
huge.
all this city.
It's huge,
Right.
but it's so it's a series of interlocking village and towns and cities, sort of all in one. This is looks like it's one city, but if you just imagine that on a scale of like, it's miles wide.
Right. Right, and that whole area is currently protected, and then the fire is like all
It's all
around the
around
edges
it,
of the yeah.
Right. Can I try something?
Yeah, are you guys teleporting in first? Is that the plan, or are you going to try something from over here? Because at the moment you're 50 miles away.
Yeah, we'll
Well-
teleport in at least.
First
I
things
don't.
first,
No,
what I
hold
would
on,
like-
easily
guys,
get
stop,
back.
stop, please. I'm asking Bruno, who's saying, "Can I try something?" Do you need to have teleported in first, or can you do it from where you are?
No, and I would recommend everybody else just holds a beat so I can try this.
That's it.
So obviously we can't do, as we know, we can't do anything that's permanent, but we might be able to get everybody in the city out. So I'm going to go into my dragon form so I can now fly. I'm going to, and she's very, very unbothered doing all of this. She's almost like pessimistic in her attempt. She's gonna fly over the city, and I'm gonna start by casting control weather.
Okay, so if you want to fly over the city, you're going to need to teleport first. It's 60 miles, which would take you quite a long time to fly there. Dragon form. Torin got a view from a distance on a Pegasus, but to get like over the city, you'll need to teleport in first.
I can turn into a cloud and fly 300 miles. You know,
Okay.
you know my jazz. You know
Okay.
my jazz.
Yeah, I mean you can do that. I just didn't know whether you'd want to expend said resource when you guys are going to teleport
Yeah.
there anyway.
Let me write. I just kind of like the imagery of Rosanna wanting to do it and then actually trying to fix it and maybe fixing it at the end. Anyways, let me mark that down. So I'm gonna cast Control Weather and I'm gonna do a torrential rain around the city.
When you get close enough to cast that, you will note that whilst there are lots of genasi all around the edge, floating about 200 foot above the city is one being. They are surrounded in a ball of water, so you can't actually see who they are or what they are. But there is somebody who's standing there in a ball of water who is sort of casting water down at certain places and fending off different bits of flame. And is sort of flinging water out of this ball. They look powerful.
Okay, that's nice. They can do that and protect us. Make sure I'll help them if they need. So I will cast I'll cast torrential rain on this one area to just sort of douse the flames, ensure enough people can come through, and this can be within 5 miles.
Default.
So I'll try. Yeah.
to see how quickly it takes.
Yeah.
The only thing it doesn't say here is that you're.
Yeah.
It's concentration to 8 hours, but you can only it takes the 1d4 times 10 minutes to move
Yeah,
every
no,
stage. Yeah.
I knew that one.
Yeah.
So it'll take me 30 minutes, I think.
But that'll just get you to whatever the next stage is. Like if it's currently clear, that's just going to get you to clouds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to take you sort of 30 minutes to get to. There are currently clouds above, so you're going to go to stage 2, which is or stage 3, sorry, which is going to be overcast ground fog. And as you do this, a voice sort of cracks out like thunder at you. Saying, "Who is it that seeks to aid?"
My friends.
Just say that in a normal tone, just my friends.
Oh, no, she would say it much more
Loudly.
My friends, they want to help you.
Right, well, you taking control of the weather. Yes. And with that, you will feel a sort of invigorating rush through you, and you can speed up that process of controlling the weather, as they are also going to cast control weather with you.
Whoa.
And
Like Power Rangers.
as the rain sort of starts to build up and get heavier and heavier, you see this creature sort of surrounded in this ball of water extend the ball of water towards you, Rosania, to surround you so that you're protected from the effects of the flame. And it only just about gets around you in time before the primordial from the ground launches an entire huge fireball up at you specifically that breaks upon the ball of water. And you will just hear this thunder rattle out towards you. Rosania, where's my sister?
How'd you?
And on that note, we'll take.
That's how he knows.
Come back. We are in the midst of trying to save a city from lava. And Rosania, you were flying above the city, creating torrential rain or working towards it. When you were met by a flying ball of water that addressed you, asked you where his sister is. Upon this moment, Gia will inform them to get to the city now. Her brother is asking after you. And she will facilitate the scrying for you to be able to teleport in. Yabo.
Yep.
You cast teleport, you will all find yourself on the wall. And if you look up, you will see 2 balls of water having fireballs thrown at. And you'll be able to identify here. One of them is Rosania and the other Al. Greeting you on the wall, 2 Genasi come running over, one fire, one earth. Garble at you in primordial before then switching to common and saying, "It's a dangerous time to be entering our city. You come to aid us?"
Absolutely, do we?
Very well, how can you help?
I'll take a look to Gia and ask if Gia would like to be the one to explain
She looks
exactly
at
what's
the rest
going
of
on
you
with
and
that.
just says, "Help how you can." Then leaps into
We
the
have
sky.
magic.
Leaps into the sky, surrounds herself in a ball of water, and joins her brother.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah,
He sort of looks at you and, "Oh, another one of those elves. Came to us, said very little, and suddenly surrounded our city in waterfalls. It was spectacular, if unexpected. Get the feeling this isn't our fight. Perhaps we might show you to our king."
Quickly, if you must.
And he will lead you along the wall to a Genasi of the type you've never seen before.
Oh.
See that he's like made of stone, but with like little those plants growing on the stone and moss, and there's sort of water running between them. Looks at you and grumbles out. Brought that out.
He sort of came on his own.
The other elf, the one that just
We've got a couple of them, but yes.
is welcome. The help was almost needed. We will abandon our homeland if we must. All regular citizens. Those of us. Have any guidance for?
You said almost enough. Where more do you need assistance right now? We can see what we can do in the short term.
Whilst he is casting us, he took rest earlier. The fire approached greatly. Need to make it more.
Let's see what we can do.
As he's saying this, suddenly it begins bursting into torrential. Not quite torrential, but it is pouring with rain. Yeah,
Yes, it's very pleasant.
some people.
Well, it's not for
As
me.
a
Hold on.
start, I prefer shouldn't. But yeah, as the rain starts falling, you will notice Rosannia's trademark sort of glow when she's shined through the protecting her. And you will see that the Primordial is launching ball after ball of flame at Gia, Cal, and at Rosania. Rosania, Gia and Cal will sort of come and arrive next to you so that you're all in one big ball. Cal will look to you and thank you for coming. Look to his sister and what else to do? Have anything in mind, Bruno?
Well, initially I was under the impression that there were still civilians to save. So Rosania cares a little bit less now.
There are still lots and lots of Genasi in the city, but they just.
I think
okay,
I
so
think all
the
the
way
women,
I
all the
see it-
women and children have gone. basically.
Exactly, pretty
the
much.
way I see it, do people need way out of the city? Is
No,
that a
no, they have a teleportation circuit, but they'd like. What they're trying to achieve is to keep. Is every time that Hal has taken rest, the fire has taken over the water.
Mm.
The moment you're filling up the water, so it's getting higher with the rain, so that is helping in one respect. She will look to you and ask you if you know how to summon an water element.
Well, yes, but of course, but that won't fix it, will it? We need to defeat the avatar of Ignis.
Not yet. Manifestation
it's
of an
still
avatar
volcano.
requires quite a lot of energy. Well, the primordial is it points to the lava all everywhere. Well, may manifest an avatar in time, but for now, yes. If we could place some water elementals, might be able to fire flames at bay. Looks to Rosania and imagine that if you do summon an elemental, it won't last all that long.
I mean, I can go on pretty long, but I'm thinking of the actual execution of this plan that you're asking me to do. You just want us to summon a water elemental for all of this.
Multiple.
Well, I can't do multiple.
Yeah, smiles. We can.
Oh.
Any more will help.
I mean, I can conjure up a storm.
He sort of points to the sky where you've already done that.
Yeah, but this is just rain. I can, I can do something more permanent. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, guys. I think it's gonna be you.
Keep it raining. Will help. Thank you. And at this point, they will join hands and attempt a casting. Is there anything that you guys on the ground are able to do?
Well, the ground around there's nothing in terms of like earth to move. There's no real way for me to create sizable, insignificant walls. I can do small, localized things at very specific places, perhaps, but nothing
If
on
you
a
tell the king
scale
that,
enough
he
to.
will guide you towards a gentleman called Grodnak. And Grodnak is a fire, and he will lead you to show you where the breaches are. He's been using control flames to try and turn them away from further into the city. You can rebuild the little bits of earth and wall that have been breached by the flames. He'd really appreciate it. Because the problem is with the waterfall surrounding it is what you're getting is fire and water coming through, which then renders large holes in the wall instead of small gaps.
Yeah.
Bastion, do you have any aid to offer?
I have a really shoddy idea of a plan.
Sure,
but I
I
don't
love a
know
shoddy
if
idea of a
it
plan.
will
Let's hear it.
actually be beneficial. Okay, first of all, do dragons count as creatures? Or are they
Creatures
their
are
own, like,
creatures.
separate thing?
All creatures are creatures.
Okay. And the dragon we fought, was it a silver or white dragon? We have.
You
We
did fight
fought
a
a
dragon
dragon.
once. Yes, you
Yes.
fought a white dragon in
White.
White.
Cave.
a cave to save the Duke. Yes, fucking hell, I forgot about that.
Yes.
Sorry.
So my idea was to cast shape change to turn into an adult white dragon.
It's CR18, isn't it?
So not only the cold breath, which is recharged, so that's a bit shoddy. I don't know if you'd let me use lair actions or regional effects.
You're not in a lair action, but regional effect is what is a manifestation of the dragon's power.
Yeah, so that would be like
and also the breath recharges every 4 to 6 rounds, which is like 25 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, so
assuming
I'm
that your shape
thinking
change lasts more than a minute, you'll get a fair few casts.
it lasts an hour, I believe. Yeah, so I'm thinking the breath. I'm thinking the regional effect could be causing a blizzard. To freeze the fire or the lava or whatever. Also, I can summon icy walls to block off areas, maybe blocking off where the fireballs are projecting.
This is looking like a little more than a shoddy half-assed plan. But it's looking pretty fucking effective.
Okay, great. Then
I'm
I will
assuming
do
you
that. I
will
will
warn
step
the king
outside
before you become a dragon.
Yes, I'll just say, do not fear. Sebastian is here, and I shall step outside.
You're going to become a dragon, and you're not even going to tell Torin you're going to do it.
Oh yeah, Tarin, try not to fall in love with me, and I will step outside. And the same way when I cast Wish and those little silvery wisps of magic are kind of floating around me, it's like that, but like a blizzard of them like wrap around Sebastian's form, as then they grow in size, and as do I, into an adult white dragon with a white furry mohawk.
What level?
It's a 9th level spell. Fuck.
Beautiful. As you, it seems we're going to end a little earlier than we thought. As you dive off the edge of the wall and turn into a white dragon, fly up, you begin summoning icy walls and breathing away flames. Kiabo is rushing around, patching up the breaches. Rosania's hands are raised in the sky as she is manifesting torrential rain down on the ground. Gia and Cal, their hands joined, are attempting to conjure multiple elementals. Hennick and Torin stand with the king. The king sort of looks at you expectantly, saying, well, your friends are showing off. What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to think of anything I could do that would make something more permanent. It seems like all the things my friends are doing are gonna hold things off for a brief period, but if you wanted to leave, you'd have left already. You've had time to get out. We want to try to preserve this place for as long as possible. Uh,
All that.
the only thing I know how to do that has any more permanence than that is related to growing things, plants. But I wonder if it might
There
be
is-
twisted to some other purpose. Well, if you
There's
have
a
anything.
secondary problem. I don't know if it might help with that. It's been 4 days. Citizens had left, but they returned. Our food stores are mostly destroyed. So you can grow things. Can you do it at speed?
I can do it quickly in a small way or over a larger area for a whole year, but that takes some hours.
Quickly. Is something. He will summon Haradris. Is an air genasi. She's the wife of the water genasi who is in charge of the growth stocks. They will take you to some of the inner sort of. They're not really herb gardens, like vegetable gardens, fruit patches. It's not a lot, but it's gonna have to feed like the 2,000 citizens that are left here. So if you are able to plant growth those, they'd be most grateful.
Yeah, I will definitely do the quick version of that, and while I'm doing it, I'm thinking about how I might be able to sort of combine the long version of this with something that, maybe one of my icy spells or something like that to create a permanent additional growth of icicles or something around the place for a whole year. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fantastic. But obviously, I'm not going to let you cast that one until after the interruption that Sebastian so
Yes.
kindly spawned. Torrin, is there anything that... There's not really a huge amount you can do, is there? You're muted, by the way.
I'll explain to the king that, unfortunately, my area of expertise lies within the martial realm. However, Tamara and I are quick as silver. And I will aid my friends in whatever ways I can.
Is appreciated. King Ostless, the service. Give you he will give you a handshake, and thank you for the aid that you have brought with your friends, and admire your wonderful mount. And at that point, Torin, a huge glob of lava hefts over the wall and lands solidly on your back. Yes, he's sort of... The gods, man. Dead.
Oh, yes, I should have mentioned that heat or fire is basically pointless and useless against me. I am impenetrable.
But in that case, there is something...
Name it, King Ostless.
We have a moat that can be released at will around the city. Protected us in the past. The only problem is the lever points to a place in a large pit of lava outside the city. There is a secondary wall that has already been decimated, and that's where the moat would spawn. If you can walk through fire like it's nothing, I think you can. Stone lever.
Absolutely. I'll unmount Tamarin because Tamarin is not immune to the effects of fire, but I also have these dragon hide boots that basically I can walk
Walk
on.
on lava, sick!
Yeah.
Hell yes.
I forgot
So,
about them.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so yeah, I will oblige and attempt to rip this lever.
And as Henrik, you're in the gardens growing these plants, and torrential rain falling from the sky, a white dragon leap. You hear Kiara rushing from place to place and rebuilding walls, and then suddenly there's this sort of cronk noise, and a huge blast of river starts to surround the city, almost like a whirlpool it looks. as it builds up and it aids the waterfalls already. And as this water is swirling, you'll see creatures begin to rise out of the water, when suddenly you hear sort of boom like thunder. 5 or 6 druids spawning out of the sky arrive, flying. Big bolt of lightning is unleashed. The white dragon that you know to be.
There was no time to cast a private sanctum.
Good job you even have private sanctum, otherwise this would just. How frustrating. How many druids does he have to spare? God damn.
Gee, in it. What the hell?
Let's have that feeble mind ready. You got it, Roberto.
Truly.
I didn't introduce the players, so I guess I'll just pick someone at random. Joe, MVPs.
I mean, I just like the whirlwind tour of all the places, right? I mean, it's nice that obviously we're sort of doing a speed version of these things, but I know you've had sort of these different cultures and places set up, and so it's nice to get a little flavors of their customs, and that kind of thing comes across just fine, even in a quick burst. So
I appreciate that. The Tabaxia people, I like Tabaxia. Pretty cool. Yeah. Bruno.
So I have a few. Most of them were with Torin. In the beginning of the session, Torin trying to convert Sebastian was really funny.
The
But when he
Bahamut.
said-
I love that. That's my one. I've got written down.
When Torin said, or perhaps convinced him that they will all perish, I thought that was funny. Torin. And then I have Hennek regrowing the plants. I thought that was cute and very in character. But that was it. That was it for me.
Josh.
I really like the little mention of Alessio out in the world. That was very cool. But I think it's got to be. Yeah, I think it's got to be the conversation with Mistra was very, very cool.
I wish I had a voice changer to do that. You know what I mean, guys? That sort of multiple voices at one sound. That's
Yeah.
I hope you all heard that in your head, because I can't do it.
was
I did look up a
very
voice
cool.
changer to do it, but it was so complicated. Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Jamal.
Yeah, so for the voice thing, I have to say the thing that you really need is for those of us that know the hit game Hades, character Chaos with his multiple echoey voices would be fantastic for that.
YouTube it.
But I'm gonna have to go with for the MVP here. It's our discussion of we have to help them. It's like, well, can we help them? What can we do? Do they need help? Do they want help? Do they know if they can last or not? And then Rosanna's just like, we should go.
Just leave him. Leave him. Let him
We should
suffer.
leave.
Yeah.
Look where it got us.
We got there in the end. Rico.
I think my MVP will have to go to the conversation between Torin and Sebastian. I thought it was good fun. I thought it was an interesting sort of way to play off of the consequences of Wish, as well, the weakening of Sebastian. So that was super cool.
Got a little one to the carrying the hither stuff to the end of the dungeon. There is the dungeon coming up, where the path coming up, that is even more likely to have that effect. I'm going to show you these vast caverns of flame, and you're just going to go, okay, I'm Torin.
No.
Yeah, it's. I really love the idea that all of you guys are like summoning. You know, this is where. So last week we saw Torin really demonstrate that sort of indestructibility. I think that's really cool. And then this week we're getting to see all you guys go, I summon an endless storm, I grow plants out of nothing, I turn into a dragon, and Torin's like, can run quick. So I like the contrast in the weeks. But yeah, I also like the opportunity just to show you a glimpse of the way of the path without having to construct it all. That's quite enjoyable. But I too like the idea that Sebastian just tried to summon Mistra, and she was like, arrogant pup. Yeah, but my actual MVP was you trying to convert Sebastian. That was true. But that is not going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye, I'll break the cameras. Apparently, if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.